Hey Void, how you doing? So, this is another movie that I was not expecting to review, but I mentioned back in my Inseminoid Horror Planet review that I had received a big box of VHSs from a friend. So, I started, as those kind of come up, trying to replace some of them with DVD or Blu-ray versions, as my VHS player eats tapes now. And that just seems easier than trying to get a new VHS player. So, a little bit trickier in some cases, but I was able to find a copy of another one, 976 Evil. Now, this was a little bit trickier to track down as it doesn't seem to have gotten a Blu-ray release, well, at least a Region 1 Blu-ray release, and the DVD seems to be all there is. That said, after getting across it, it turns out this is the theatrical cut, which has been a bit more maligned than the director's cut, which apparently the VHS was, but the DVD is only for theatrical, so I'm working with what I got. Now, this one's big claim to fame is it was directed by Robert Englund, who notoriously disliked the theatrical cut. He's much more fond of he came to terms with it a bit more with the version that I'm not able to review easily right now. But like I said, working with what I got, so I at least have seen this one in some form. Now, I was kind of unfamiliar with 976 Evil in general until I'd watched In Search of Darkness, where the film does get a little bit of a highlight. Now, let's see, 976 Evil. I don't know how many people even remember 976 numbers. Essentially, it was a call-in service, usually like a psychic hotline, though there were others. Some adult, some not. Anyway, this is about a line that gives you your horror scope, which supposedly gives you like some spooky supernatural advice. Well, when people who don't do what it says start turning up dead, we have a cop looking into it. Meanwhile, this family is kind of sort of being plagued by it to some degree. Now, the fellow's mostly two cousins, Spike and Hoax. Now, Spike is your general punk kid, while Hoax is the dweeby friend of his. So, now, Spike is kind of our protagonist, but he's kind of hard to get behind because he steals from his cousin's mother. He's kind of a dick. The whole beginning is trying to make him unlikable, only for him to just have a turnaround and is now our protagonist as he fights the much more evil-possessed Hoax later. But they still don't do much to endear him. As he blows off his girlfriend to play cards, he steals, he lies, he's kind of a piece of shit. Meanwhile, Hoax, you're kind of sympathetic to at first as being this dweeb, but then he gets in over his head, though he does have some 80s perviness about him, spying on his cousin's girlfriend and stealing her panties and shit like that. So there ain't no heroes here. Anyway, when he calls the number, he first gets the advice that'll have him essentially hitting on the girl, and that works out for a while, and until it doesn't. Then he calls the line again to get some revenge and accidentally kills her when he thinks he's just going to scare her. However, this causes him to delve deeper and deeper into the 976 number, getting more demonic powers as he goes along and taking revenge on the bullies. While his cousin, working alongside a cop who's been trying to track down those mysterious deaths, is trying to, stop Hoax before it's too late. It's an entertaining little film. It's very 80s, and you can definitely feel Robert Englund's sense of humor in the film. Some of this does feel like some Freddy Krueger style material for when Hoax goes full half demon. It's not great, but it's definitely it's a good throwback kind of thing. I was not bored watching 976 Evil. It's a horror comedy. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It definitely is going more for a goofy feel. I would love to see the director's cut, which gives more of the true vision for it, but maybe that'll be an option at some point. But the effects are not great. Especially anytime it does animate things, it's definitely cheesier. But the gore effects are decent. Though the movie definitely has a strangeness to itself. Like when the fish rain from the sky, uh, for some reason. Apparently it's like a biblical warning. But I will say I got a lot of kicks out of just hearing characters just going on about the Lord's fish. So it's a memorable film. I will say that. I thought I'm gonna forget some of the scenes in this one. So yeah, for me, I liked it, but I didn't love it. I'll give it like 5 MacGuffins. It's okay, but I think I would if I could see the more intended version, I would probably rate it a bit higher. The movie is an odd one, but it's Robert Englund at the helm, so you kind of expect that, and it lives up to that pretty well. So I'm glad I added it to my collection overall. It's I have a soft spot for a cheesy '80s flick, so this one ticks all 10 boxes. All right, see you soon, Floyd.